Hey guys, it's Christian Arnold, and we are back. Oh, I forgot to introduce you.
I'm Jamie Shaver.
And we are back with another episode of Emotional Nerds. Since our last episode that we recorded 20 minutes ago, the temperature has dropped from 70 to 65 in this room.
Because you turned on the AC because you thought it was hot.
I did think it was hot, yeah. I'm from the north, so I like
delusional.
it. Huh?
You're just delusional.
Well, that's why I chose to have this podcast with you.
I'm not real. I'm just a figment of your imagination.
So this episode, we are looking at
the Explorer Archetype.
Yeah, the Explorer Archetype is the first of, well, I would say the second. Our second major orientation.
Ones that yearn for paradise, which is a bit of a vague term, but
yeah,
makes more sense once you get into it.
Which is weird because we just got done talking about the outlaw, which I would summarize as seeking freedom and that liberation.
Maybe that's why on the little chart we had outlaw and explorer were right beside each other.
Yeah, but this whole orientation is all based around freedom as well. Of course, more niche than just freedom itself, but
there's not just freedom, but the idea that they're kind of searching for that perfect world, that kind of perfect place for them to fit into.
Yeah, kind of Neil summarizes this whole orientation as freedom. I don't think that does good justice to it. I don't know what word I would use, but it's more so.
I think a big part of it I was reading the Hero and the Outlaw book. A lot of it also has to do with a mix of their inner world and their outer world. It said they're trying to search for things in the outer world that match up with their values in their inner world. I mean, kind of similar to that sense of belonging that the Everyman archetype feels, but not exactly the same.
Yeah, if I had used a different word to summarize this group, I would say hope. I would say these are all hopeful in some way. The explorer is looking for that hope of freedom or that goal of exploration. The sage is looking for that hope of wisdom, that hope of understanding.
Wisdom, truth is definitely a big thing in sages as well.
And then the innocent's looking for that hope of safety.
Security and kind of warm blanket.
Yeah, so like that yearning for paradise and yearning for, I'd say that's like that yearn for hope, to find that happy ending.
Yeah, happy ending. That's a really good word to use it. This one.
Yeah.
This one's always just said yearning for paradise, but finding a happy ending feels a whole lot more well put.
Yeah. Last episode, I finally figured out what the three types of archetypes were. Just to rehash that again, they were proposed by Carl Jung in his book on the rebirth of the soul, right? I believe that's by Carl Jung. No, it's a book by this. Coin was best termed by an author called Walben.
Alright, so when you heard him say Carl Jung last episode, forget about that.
It's still called Carl Jung and the Rebirth of the Soul, but it's
then.
by someone.
It's by somebody that's not Carl Jung.
Yeah, that's interesting.
A lot of the most interesting ideas about Carl Jung aren't even from him.
Oh, wait. So. And it's free on Amazon.com with Kindle Unlimited.
Okay, that means we won't have to pirate it this time.
We probably shouldn't say that on YouTube.
that was a joke for legal reasons.
Yes. All right. So yes, this book is Rebirth of the Soul by N. Walben. Carl Jung and the Rebirth of the Soul. But in this book, back to the main point, he proposes the three levels of archetypes. You have the persona or ego, which is our most surface level, the ones who display the world. Top don't require reflection or unconscious thought, right? You have the self, which is the combination of our ego and shadow that makes up of who we perceive we are, our conscious thought, really, that's our identity to an extent. And then we have the soul shadow, the unconscious things that influence that identity.
The edgy, dark side of everybody.
Yes.
That's what this explorer is focusing on, the soul aspect of this.
The explorer.
Just like the outlaw.
is, yeah, the explorer is a soul type. That is correct. So again, using colonel.com as our source.
Pretty sure that's a blog or something.
Yeah, it's just a summary of these things by a psychologist.
Nothing you said seems to contradict the source material, so it should be good to go off of.
It's just a summary of another psychologist of Carl Jung's and of Pearson and
Carl. Wait, let me look at the names again. It was Mark and Carol Pearson.
Yep, got it. Yeah, just somebody by another psychologist bringing it all together, right? So when talking about this archetype, the Explorer archetype, we'll go down the same list we always do. His motto is "Don't fence me in." Core desire is the freedom to find out who we are through exploring the world.
Again, inner world, outer world matching.
Yes. The goal is to experience a better, authentic, fulfilling life. Biggest fear is getting trapped, conformity, and emptiness. Strategy is through journey, through seeking out, experiencing new things. Escape from boredom. That's interesting. We'll come back to that. Weakness is aimlessness, aimless wandering, becoming a misfit. The talent is autonomy, ambition, and being true to one's soul. Again, going to come back to that, hopefully. And the explorer can also be known as the seeker iconoclast.
Okay, I'm gonna look up what that means. There it is again.
Yeah, I'm going to have to actually look up that word because it's the second time.
I got it.
You got it?
Keep reading that off.
Okay. But known as seeker iconoclast, wanderer, individualist, and the pilgrim. I'm actually going to look it up so I can hear it pronounced.
Google defines iconoclast as a person who attacks cherished beliefs or institutions. So
Yes.
basically, who says screw you to the big man.
Yes. I see similar, and the first and second one I see for similar is skeptic and heretic.
Heretic.
So that's
a
a fun one to look at. But real quick, so I know how to pronounce it.
Iconoclast.
Oh, I don't like that voice.
Neither do I. But yeah, so I'm less researching this archetype. You've read a bit more on it than me have. Anyway, who did you have as the first one they could see for the Explorer?
First thing that came to mind for me, have you ever seen Interstellar?
I'm about to commit a cardinal sin again.
Yep.
No, I haven't.
I don't think we've seen any of the things that the other one has seen, but...
Well, it's funny because my, the staff for my job, they've all seen Interstellar. They've been trying to get me to see Interstellar.
It's one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion at least, but...
Bold claim, but...
Main character's name, Cooper. He's, I'll try not to spoil it too much for you, but main point is he's trying to reach higher. He's kind of... They're stuck on Earth, kind of this dystopian post-apocalyptic place. They're trying to rebuild, trying to get the government's trying to get the world back into farming.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Yeah. They're trying to get people back into farming and trying to rebuild slow, but this guy, Cooper, he's like, nope, screw that. I don't want to settle down. I don't want to do these basic things. He wants to reach for the stars. He wants to be a pilot. He wants to get out there to experience what's out there. He hates being bound down by the government and by the people around him who's telling him his son's got to be some lowly farmer instead of a pilot like him. And basically, the course of the movie, he gets recruited by somewhat of a secret agency. I don't know if you could call it a secret agency, but they sent him to the stars in search of a new planet to habit because Earth is going to just be inhabitable, whatever. You're not going to be able to be on Earth in just a few years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I kind of ran my mouth there, but you get the point.
Yeah, I do. When I think of the Explorer, I think the Explorer, when we talk, while I'm talking, come up with an emotional label for Explorer, because I don't have one off the top of my head. But, before we get to that, I do want to say, when I think of the Explorer, I think of literally, like, almost everyone in the show of One Piece, right? Because the whole world is about exploring the world.
Pirates sail on the high seas and all that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the main character. You have Luffy. His goal is to find the One Piece, which
it's real. The One Piece is real.
After 1,000 episodes, still haven't seen it. So, but we see that. We see now Zoro, the swordsman. He's definitely more of a hero or magician because he seeks to be the world's greatest swordsman. So that's definitely more so mastery than anything.
Yeah.
But
anything that has like be the greatest or be the best is probably going to be hero.
Yes, and to an extent, Luffy also has that because he does want to be, the Pirate King. So to an extent, that's also seeking power.
But again, a lot of characters are combinations of two different archetypes, or even more than two.
Yeah.
The best characters are the most complex.
We see Luffy want to find the One Piece. We also see Nami. Nami's goal is to create an accurate map of the world and navigate the Grand Line. Definitely explore as well. Usopp, he wants to become brave. So again, not necessarily explorer, but the role that he fills in a sense within the show as a crewmate and stuff like that does contribute to that explorer archetype as well. But we see Sanji the cook wanting to find fish to find the all blue, the legendary sea where the fish are, and become the greatest chef. So again, mastery. That chef, also explorer, wanting to find the all blue.
So the common denominator overall is wanting to find something.
I guess. I mean, the explorer, yes, it's seeking freedom. I'd also say it's seeking discovery.
Yeah, that's another thing I have written down here. The discovery, they want to experience the joy that discovery brings them. Maybe that could be the emotional label that we were talking about. They experience a whole lot of joy and satisfaction and self-fulfillment when they find what they're looking for, when they have that moment of discovery.
And then also that disappointment yearning when you don't.
Yeah. A lot of despair. I feel like a lot of these, when they hit the negative side of it, just turns into a lot of despair and hopelessness.
I think Wanderlust could be a good emotion. I don't know if that's an emotion though. I'd say
Wanderlust is more of a mindset. I feel like.
I'd say curiosity.
Is curiosity an emotion?
That's a fun talk on of itself.
Wasn't curiosity that one dude that killed a cat or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess curiosity definitely is a behavior characteristic, right? You can say someone is naturally curious.
And normally behavior and whatnot is influenced by emotions, but not necessarily the emotion in and of itself.
But at the same time, I could very well say, I am feeling curious, and that makes complete sense to you.
That's true.
So, that's weird. Curiosity can be both an emotion.
Maybe it's just viewed from two different perspectives, you know? Maybe there are two different meanings and it's one word. Maybe is that what you're getting at? Like in the sense of an emotion and in the sense of a behavior? Or they might.
Yeah.
Maybe we're getting a little too hyper specific.
Maybe. I'd argue it's still probably more cognitive than a pure emotion.
Yeah.
But I would say it's simply because I can say I feel curious.
But I can say I feel hungry, and hungry is not an emotion.
Wow, it depends on who you ask. And that's a whole nother conversation.
No, but that's when you say hangry or whatever. Or you can say I feel pain. Pain can be
anyway, but I think another way that we can say that though is I think not curiosity. The explorer archetype can also be associated with, I guess, excitement.
Excitement's a good word.
Yeah, I mean that anticipation of discovery, that desire to discover. When I think of someone who's an explorer per se.
Dora
the Explorer, yeah.
Oh, okay, I was joking. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, we're not going to cover that character because I think that's a bit too complex for us here today.
Yeah, our brains are too small.
I'd say excitement, surprise, because you're constantly welcoming those new scenarios. I can also see, what would the more mellow version of that be? Because everyone that we named has been an explorer in the sense of that high motivation to find something.
I feel like a more mellow one could be someone like Bilbo Baggins, maybe. He definitely wants to go adventuring, but he's not necessarily. He doesn't have this burning desire. It's more. I don't know how to describe it. He just seems a bit more chill about it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not exactly what you're looking for.
I think the other hard thing as well is, and this is something that I've been dancing around and don't really have an answer for, but I feel like the explorer can be very easily to be miscategorized. There's a difference between exploring for the sake of the discovery and exploring for the sake of a goal, right? Mm-hmm. So on one hand, I would say the way Luffy wants to explore the world and find new people, new things, stuff like that, to an extent, or even someone like Nami who wants to see the whole world and stuff like that, that's definitely explore, right? But the goal at the end, exploration, I think sometimes that falls into, I don't know, maybe, I guess, not power per se, so not magician, but I think sometimes the goal of the exploration can fit into another archetype. I mean, if my goal through exploring the world is to find the Dragon Balls so I can make a wish to be the strongest,
I feel like
that would be magician, I would say, more than explorer.
But by that logic, anybody can explore. I think the point of explorer is that the exploration is part of what brings them joy in and of itself. The the real friend was the journey we made along the way. Or no, sorry, the real. How's the saying?
The
real friends were the.
No, it's a real blank with the friends we made across the way.
Yeah.
The Real Emotional Nerds podcast, the friends we made along the way, guys. Hit subscribe and like.
Friends we made along the way. It's more focused on the journey itself. I feel like, and that freedom. And they are looking for that. They still do have something they want to discover, but also I feel like the journey itself still brings them a huge amount of satisfaction.
Yeah.
Again, wanderlust.
I mean, I also think of Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead.
I don't understand a single word you just said. Other than
never mind, we won't get into it. Also, it is a new series, so I don't want to spoil it that much.
That's fair.
But also, I mean, when I think about that exploration of just seeing the world and getting things done to an extent. So maybe those small accomplishments can also be part of the explorer as well. I just think like when we look at something like searching the world for the Dragon Balls, yes, that can be explorer. Also, depending
for power or
exactly
searching for mastery or something.
And I feel like if you're searching for power, that's more magician.
Yeah, and again, I think I said it earlier. They're specifically searching for things in the world that align with the values of their inner kind of world.
Yeah. Now, something else I want to cover is part of the strategy is escape from boredom. Now, boredom is definitely an emotion, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's literally Inui. That's gonna be one of the new ones in Inside Out 2.
Is it?
Yeah. Embarrassment, anxiety, and Inui, I think, were the 3 new ones they listed in the trailer. Inui and boredom. Inui is boredom, right? I'm fairly certain it is.
I don't even know what word you're saying. How is it spelled?
ENNUI. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah. Lack of spirit, enthusiasm, boredom. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna have that in Inside Out too. So boredom's definitely an emotion.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
And it can't really be categorized under the kind of main ones that people
They
talk
really introduced only negative emotions.
I mean, yeah, it's puberty. What do you expect?
Well, I would expect love to be an emotion added.
That's true.
That desire for
Well,
intimacy.
They kind of gotta tread the line. I guess they don't want to put horny as an emotion in their new movie for kids.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
And love might be a little bit close to that, and they're trying to avoid that maybe. Or maybe it's a surprise reel. Maybe it comes in at the end after all the trials and tribulations. You know?
maybe that is the plot.
That might actually. That's actually kind of
the plot review of the whole movie is them finally finding love. Now, what I will say, I'll say this and go off. track, but I also find it interesting that they're introducing these emotions, yet they weren't present in the parents either. So the present.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do some retcon.
Yeah, but anyway, back to the point.
Maybe you say they were just there
boredom.
all along. Maybe they were just suppressed.
The real inside out were the friends we made along the way. So
Boredom, main point.
yes, but back to the conversation you're having, and this is what I want to end the conversation with. The last question I'll ask. That escape from boredom. How would you say the explorer's strategy is escape from boredom?
I mean, obviously, run away from it by going on these adventures and these journeys. In the act of exploring and doing what they do, they are running away from boredom, in a sense.
I guess. I mean, part of me is thinking even physiologically about this.
The
explorer exhibits that wanderlust. That's I would say wanderlust is a bit of an emotion, but that's a very high motivation state of being.
Obviously,
right?
it pushes you to do something. Yeah.
Yeah, and boredom's the opposite of that. Probably the lowest motivation that I can think of off the top of my head.
On the general scale of it, it'd definitely be on the opposite.
Yeah.
End.
So, and I'm thinking about exploring and doing things being a reward system in the sense that motivates you to do something. You do something, triggers your reward system, dopamine's released, leads you to do more things.
And that leads again into the whole thing of discovery in that moment of finding something, big release of dopamine and serotonin. Is that another one?
So hitting that dopamine reward, and as long as that dopamine keeps being hit, you're going to escape. Ennui?
Yeah, we could just say boredom. We don't have
boredom, sure. But I think ennui is actually a pretty good word for this, although I'm probably mispronouncing it.
Yeah, I guess ennui is a bit more broad than boredom.
Yeah, because ennui is also that lack of satisfaction.
Yeah, like just general directionlessness or lack of satisfaction. And boredom is like within the general bubble of ennui.
So when we're looking for a word that really categorizes, or an emotion that's the opposite of ennui. Oh, this is interesting. This is just a quick Google search, so I can't really quote this perfectly. But the opposite of ennui being a French word, meaning that feeling of boredom or discontent, is the French phrase. I'm about to butcher this so bad.
Yeah, let me see it.
It's like joy.
Joie de vivre.
We're gonna ask Google to pronounce that.
Just make it pronounce it, and we'll.
Yeah. So and what that is the enjoyment of living, and that's something I want to talk about. The explorer, they are typically the type that also like the finer things in life, good food, good wine,
satisfaction. Then.
I guess, yeah.
Satisfaction, purposefulness. Maybe not purpose.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Contentment.
Yeah, not content, because even content is low motivation to an extent.
That's true.
Because if you're content, it doesn't motivate you.
Maybe just a bit more simple than just happiness or joy. I mean, again, in the original Hero and the Outlaw book, I kept seeing the word joy repeated.
I guess joy, yeah. So this is the French pronunciation.
Joie de vivre.
We messed that up so much.
That sounded so American. No. Joie de
vivre.
That's very American. Nope. That voice is...
Nah, it's not, but like, I don't know how you get joie out of J-O-I-E.
No, it's joie.
Joie de vivre.
Joie de vivre.
Joie de vivre.
The way he said vivre, so American.
It's not. Anyway, well, I guess that ends this episode with...
Yep. On
Joie de vivre.
Yeah.
Hopefully your audio picked that up. Yeah, but Joie de vivre is a super enjoyment of life, which I encourage you guys to have in between our episodes. Or if you're binging this all at once, God bless your heart. Leave a subscription, replay this video 1,000 times, just for your personal enjoyment.
See you all next time.
Yeah.